Okay, so here's a few tips and tricks on tying a boat up alongside nice and securely.
Okay, first thing is, if you, like most people, I can just hold on to this boat here, is I know that the wind's coming in this direction. It's not taking a lot of tension to hold the boat, but if the wind's coming in this direction here, and if Luke shows the little tassels, you can see the wind starting to blow a little bit down there. So essentially the wind's sort of coming in and behind. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stern line on first, and what we try and do, if it's on a pontoon like this, is with a powerboat we always put the stern line, if we can, level with the cleat. I try and make it more or less cleat to cleat, so it's resting on the fender there, but you can see the boat's just taking the shape of the wind. So if I now tie that up, so you just crisscross, if you can put a full turn round then do so, but it doesn't really matter if I go crisscross over here. Now we normally say 2 or 3 turns, so it's only a small boat. You can notice the wind's just parked it back in, look. So if I was to put a locking turn on here and I want to go that way, I'm trying to pull it off, aren't I? But if I'm going to put springs on, which I'm going to do, is I'm just going to leave that like that for now. So I'm going to come back to that one. So now I've thrown the line over, but if we think about what the wind's going to do, the boat is literally just taking the shape of the wind, as you can see. Okay, so all I've got to do to help her, if I just hold that, as you can see, the boat should just start to, if the wind changes direction, i.e. it's still predominantly coming this way, I've not touched the line, but the stern line's tight if you look on there, and she's just literally, that is the angle of the wind. So to help her in, I can either pull it, if I wanted to pull it in tighter and make it easier, I could use a lever like that, so I could just pull up and then that pulls it in. But I don't need to because the wind's parking it. So I've got a slight lead on the front. All I'm going to do now is make sure that she sits level on the fenders. I'm not going to squash all the fenders, look. So the fenders are at a nice height. So now I'd say that's about right, and the wind's coming in this direction. So same thing, I'm going to go round. If I can do a full turn round, now clearly we've got other ropes on here for someone's fenders, so I'm just going to crisscross like so. So that's 2 turns. I could put 3. It's only a small boat. She only weighs what, just about 2 ton. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this same rope as a spring. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this spring here, or to this cleat, take it the furthest way so you've got a nice smooth line. If I do it here, now I'm rubbing on the boat. I could do it that way, but it's still rubbing more on the boat than it is if I do it here, look. So it's just touching in one point. So think about your boat rubbing up and down on the lines. So now if I pull fairly tight on that, just lean back on it, I'm pulling tight against the stern line. Now I can walk it round, and now all I'm going to do is put your hand on top, don't put your fingers anywhere near, if it was a, a windy day, and then I'm just going to put a locking turn, as it's called, here. So that's now locked in place. Now depending on the type of rope, if you're going to leave the boat for a long time, if that dries out, then obviously it can become tight and you can't get it undone. We use our boats probably every day, so we get away, we use a locking turn. If not, you do a few more turns like this, like so, and then maybe there, and then you do that to finish it off, because then I can undo them. Trouble is, if you get a lot of boat movement, these can come undone, and do. Okay, so I'm going to undo it. So I'm just going to, in fact that's enough, so I'll put that on there, put that there so it's nice and tight, make up the rope, so I'll just hang that there for now, and now I can put the stern line. Notice I've not secured it or done a locking turn on there, and then I can come back to this side. This time I'm going to go that side of the cleat, and then I'm going to do that all the way around, put it back over itself, and on the last one I'm going to do a locking turn just to finish it off. And now we've got 2 ropes like so, which I can hang over and sort out. Now the reason for the springs is, if the tide is going up and down on the jetty, you would have a longer stern line and a longer bow line, and then your springs, you make them long enough, so basically you're doing a scissor effect. So when the boat moves up and down, it's doing that. Okay, so that's what your springs are actually doing. So hopefully that helps you, but like I say, this is just alongside a pontoon, so hopefully that helps a few people out. To finish the rope off, If you want to be neat and tidy, if I've got enough to put it on the jetty, I'll just show you on here, is you can then cheese the rope down, as it's called. So you do it in the clockwise direction, so just make it nice and tight. So now I can put that round like there. I could even cover that little hole over. But what I've done there is I've removed a trip hazard, and if I need the rope in a rush, I can just pick up the middle and walk off with it. Okay, so just keeps things nice and tidy, doesn't it? Seamanship like. Okay, any questions, please contact us at Boatability.